All right. Well, that was our intro. Welcome, everybody, to All Angles Boxing and Combat Sports Channel. Today, like we promised, we bringing you live Coach Julian Chua, which is prodigy of Freddie Roach. And the young man is just up and coming, and he's trained a lot of people. He's been in the Manny Pacquiao camps. He's come from Indiana. And now what we want to do is we want to turn around and introduce you to Sicario, which is Silvestre Quinones. We've had him on the show before. We're going to have him on quite a bit. Silvestre, what's going on in Texas and your side of the world?
Oh, not much. Just working hard and training every day.
All right. I see you now. You're getting ready to announce a date for your fight, right?
Yes, sir. It should be early November.
All right. Early November. Well, we're going to wish you luck on that and a good camp. And then I myself, Dave Trujillo, coach and director of House of Pain here in Southern California, Temecula, California, actually. But we're waiting for a couple of hosts to come on board. But while we are, we're going to go ahead and start interviewing Coach Julian Chua. So, Silvestre, do you have any questions for Coach right now?
Man, how young are you?
That's a very good question for me. I'm 31 years old.
Wow. That's fantastic, man. Now, you made your way out here by the way of Indiana. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes. I fought in the amateurs there, and that landed me an opportunity to move out to LA and train out here. And I was doing that actually at Wildcard with Freddie and a couple coaches. Eric Brown worked with me for a long time, and then I just basically, long story short, found my way to training. So I'm very grateful for those experiences, and wouldn't trade them for the world. I'm very happy with what I do now.
Wow. Now, from what I understand too, and I watched a couple of your YouTube interviews and videos, and man, I'll tell you, sure are an inspiration, especially to young coaches. You believe in continuing your own training yourself, as well as training your boxers and your clients or what have you. Now, how do you have time to train yourself when you're training everybody else so much?
Just routine and discipline. Like I just feel like when you have to really force yourself to you really need to force yourself to be a priority. So like I'm not, and it's at the end of the day, it's also for my guys, because if I'm not keeping up with myself physically, I feel my mental doesn't I'm not as sharp. I'm not as I don't know. I'm just not happy, So like I have to put myself in a position where I'm taking care of myself so I can take care of my guys the best way I can,
Yes, sir.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense, and it also kind of keeps your boxers honest as well, including yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally have trained bodybuilders for 20 years, and off and on I've trained boxers. I've been in the boxing world off and on since 1976. I was able to go under a program for Ron Lyle back in Denver, Colorado, as a kid, and I've been through it off and on throughout the years. But for the last 20 years, I had retired out of my careers, which was printing, and I also had a granite countertop company. And I retired, and I got into the bodybuilding because I knew I personally wasn't going to ever box or kickbox anymore. So I made it a point to train and to be an example to all of my clients. And we had a team of female competitors and whatnot, and then I train a lot of male bodybuilders as well. So I believe in that theory, and I have to tell you right now, my son. His name is David. They call him Coach DT at the House of Pain. He's a phenom himself too, and this guy, he puts himself through the workouts just like when he was a little kid all the way up. He got a chance to train with actually one of the trainers over there at Wildcard, and I forget his name, Morgan or something like that. Back in the day, this is about 10 or 15 years ago. and then he went on to go train with Joel Diaz, and then he got married and had 5 kids. But he still trains today, so I admire that about you. I admire that about him, and of
You
course,
know,
I know
with
Sylvester can
I don't I
appreciate it.
I don't really do much boxing training anymore. The boxing training I do now is more tape study. So like I try to further my knowledge in boxing through, I mean, everything and anything, whether it's watching fighters train, finding clips of old great trainers. Like, I mean, I learned a lot from Freddie, but there's a million styles, and there's no one that's perfect. So I've watched everything you can on Emmanuel Stewart, Teddy Atlas. I really, I look up to, I really like Lomachenko's dad. Even the Floyd Mayweather Sr. And then on top of that, then I watch the fighters. I just tape study. I tape study a lot. That's more of like where my evolution in continuing to be a better boxing trainer comes from. I actually do a lot more like
Wow,
Olympic lifting stuff for my own body. You know what I'm saying? That's more what I've been into for training.
wow, that's fantastic. Now, how many years have you been there? You guys started Wild Card West, right, in Hollywood?
Yes, that's where I started. I started as a coach at a place called Wildcard West in Santa Monica.
Oh, Santa Monica. Okay, how many years have you been training there?
Okay, so I trained there. My last fight was 2012, and then I, I was actually getting ready to turn professional, and I fractured my hand again, and after that fracture, I was actually planning on going home. A big reason why I stopped boxing. I kept fracturing my hands, and so I was actually going to go home and go to college. I was about to go back to Indiana, just give up on boxing in general. I was just over it. Like, it was heartbreaking, and
Yes,
and
imagine.
uh, Freddie actually, when I came to the gym, I was actually going there to tell him like I'm going home. Like thanks for everything. It was great to meet you and everything, and it was an honor to train with you. And I'm going, And actually, he like his Marie, who works underneath him, and him decided that to bring up the suggestion to maybe have me coach at their new gym they're opening up in Santa Monica, and that was called Wildcard West. And I went down there, met the owner, and checked the vibe out, and I really liked it, and that's how my career began.
Wow.
But
So
but
oh,
yeah,
go ahead. So you turned a
sorry.
heart. Yeah.
So like
So,
I went to yeah, I went to Wildcard, or I went to Wildcard West for. I'm so bad with like year spans, but I went to Wildcard West for a couple years. That's when I first started training pros, and then I remember I went up to Wildcard. I brought my guys up there for sparring, and I hadn't seen Freddie in so long since I was training at Wildcard, and I brought a couple of my guys up there, and they sparred. They looked phenomenal, and Freddie was listening to a lot of the stuff I was saying in the corner, and he pulled me outside after the sparring, and he's like, hey, he actually asked to see me outside. I was kind of worried I was in trouble, but so I went outside with Freddie, and Freddie was like, hey, you're good. And I was like, whoa, like, whoa, like,
wow.
I admire this guy so much. Like, it was crazy. Like, you're good. He goes, what do you think about coming up here and helping me out, train like my guys? I help you with your guys, and we work together. And I was like, dude, what? Like, of course. Who would never?
Wow.
Who would say no to that? So we
Right.
worked together. Yeah, we worked together at Wildcard. I was there for about 2 years, and we didn't lose a fight. We didn't lose a single fight for 2 years. Nobody that we trained together lost. Actually, sorry, the only guy that lost was Jose Cepeda against Jose Ramirez, but he lost a majority decision in Fresno that I thought he beat Jose Ramirez. But
Wow.
then, so after that was great. we had a great relationship then. We have a great relationship now. I have nothing but respect for everyone at Wildcard, including Marie, Freddie, like the whole Wildcard family, Marvin. But Zurdo basically was like, "Hey, I'm gonna open up a new gym called Brick House," and he was like, "Will you run it for me?" Pretty much, and like he like head coach that place, and so I parted ways amicably with Wildcard, and now we're here.
Wow, congratulations to you, man.
Thank you,
What an amazing success story at such a very young age.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
That's a lot to accomplish at your age, which a lot of people don't reach that till they're in their 40s, 50s even, you know.
Well, I think I'm lucky also that I had like the right guys come. Like, dude, coaches are important, but I guess it's good on me that I always believe in my guys. Like, I don't care what the paper looks like, what everyone says. I always believe in like our team, and that self belief in myself and my guys and everything, like that got us to win a lot of B-side fights. Actually, I had one with Kayana Rain. She was one of Caesar's guys. It was a girl, and she came to me. She was like almost 50 or something like that, and she was like, "Will you train me?" And she'd fought mixed martial arts, kickboxing, boxing, and she had never won a bout yet. And I trained her for a fight, and she outboxed this girl and beat her, and it was her first win. And I still I love that memory, and I've had like a lot of high caliber fighters, but that one sticks in my mind forever.
What's up, guys? What's up? And Julian, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
What's up, man?
Thank you for being out here. I remember that, and I remember that day. I after the fight, cause see the thing about Kayana, she's an MMA fighter. She's part of the. I'm with Black House Boxing, and MMA is huge. It's bigger than boxing, right? So they tell me there's this girl that wants to fight. Help her out. So I help her out. So I started helping her out, and I'm thinking she's a banger. She's an MMA fighter. What are MMA fighters? MMA fighters are bangers. So I take her to a Mexican style gym where they teach her, banging, the art of banging, and that's an art in itself. But we try to make her this like, oh, go on there and just throw punches and put pressure nonstop. And then after a while, she herself found Julian. How you guys hooked up, Julian, I don't know. But I remember her calling me, telling me, I got a coach. I'm not going to go back to the Mexican style guy. A good friend of mine, Yukita, who's a great coach. He's like, I want to go with a new coach. And I was like, whatever you're comfortable with. She's older than me. I'm not going to tell her what to do. So she chose to go with Julian. And so like, that's all good. As long as you're happy, as long as you're training, you're good. We did that fight, Julian. And I remember I give him all the credit in the world because he saw something that I didn't. He's a coach. He won that fight of making her box, which I didn't think she could do. And she did it beautifully. She won that fight. And after that, I gave him all the respect in the world. And at that point, I thought this kid is going to be one of the better coaches. Best is tough because you got to prove yourself to be the best, right? But one of the better coaches in the game. I knew he was going to be it at some point. This soon, I didn't know, though, Julian. I didn't know you'd be there this fast, brother. Congratulations to you on that.
Thank you. And honestly, I'm not even looking. It's funny because like I'm not even looking to be the best. I'm just looking to be good enough that my fighters like have someone that has their back every single day. This shit is not about me at all. I care about them. I care about them. Like wholeheartedly, I care about them. So like I think for me, the best is just an opinion of people, like whatever, I just want my guys to win. That's it. My guys and girls, I want them to win. That's it.
Well, that's to be admired, in today's age, being, in the new up and coming coaches and whatnot. They still have a lot of the seasoning, which needs to be done is all about, should be always about their boxers or always about their members or clients or whoever. When they make it about themselves, it becomes highly noticeable, especially in their boxers game. You can see it that sometimes they'll push their fighter to do something they shouldn't be doing or going into a fight they shouldn't be going into too prematurely or whatever, because the coaches want the knowledge, or not the knowledge, but they want the acknowledgement, I should say, and not the boxer. So I admire that statement from you. That's appreciated by all of us old schoolers.
I mean, like, if you think otherwise, I feel like you're fucked up. If you're a coach, makes it about you, yeah, you're kind of fucked up, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Then it should just be you in the ring and not anybody else. If it's
Right.
about you,
Right.
right? So tell me something. Go ahead, Caesar.
Go
Sorry.
ahead, Dave. No, go ahead. I was going to ask him a question. Go ahead. I'll follow it up after.
Okay, so I wanted to ask now. Do you have a team of trainers operate over there with your boxers?
Yeah, I mean, we have like a great group of guys over there. Former world champion Brian Valoria, he's there with me. We work together closely. And like I said, this guy was multiple time world champion. I'll listen to anybody. Will I absorb, or will I take what they say to heart? Not always. I'm smart enough to like discard what is foolish and what is not, but my ears are always open. And like with someone like Brian, who has experienced so much in there at the highest level, like I'm blessed to have him around, that to like, wherever I'm making mistakes, if I am making mistakes, or if I'm, or if he, or not even mistakes, more like perspective, I'm grateful to have him around for that. And he's getting into coaching, and he tells me all the time he's grateful for, like, sometimes the best fighters don't always make great coaches, and he wants to become a better coach. And he appreciates that. Like, I mean, I've been in the coaching game for longer than him, and he's but basically we complement each other well. There's another man named Joey Figueroa. He's a great coach. He's learning. He was more of like in the quiet circuit, but then he's been really hungry to train fighters. So he's starting to get a stable of guys. And then lastly, there's a new coach. He's kind of becoming my right hand, like my assistant coach. His name is Josue Romero. He was just like, I think he was kind of more like in the fitness industry at first, but he likes boxing. He's willing to learn. He doesn't have an ego about stuff. And, and he at least for now, I've only worked with him for a little bit of time, but he seems like his intentions are good, so I think I'm just like, God has blessed me with a really good group of trainers there.
That is awesome. I understand, being a head coach and a director of our gym, House of Pain, Southern California, what it's like to have to go trainers and coaches that have the same mindset and the same focus and the same dream as you have to bring your boxers along. So that's good. I'm glad that's came together for you. Obviously, it shows. I mean, your boxers are amazing. So
Thank you.
Kudos to you and your team. That is awesome.
Julian, are you younger than Zurdo? Because
no, I'm like a couple months older.
Okay, I was just curious. Curious. But like, how has that been working with him? I mean, I know Zurdo. I know his English is not the best. He speaks it. I mean, I know he's gotten better over the years, but I mean, there's got to be some kind of a little bit of a I don't want to say difficulty, but a little bit of a challenge there.
My box Spanish has gotten pretty good. Like, well, it's simple, like izquierda, like cuerpo, like whatever, like piernas, like move your feet, like we have our things, like disciplina, like when he gets to the ropes, like don't linger too long, like mueve la cabeza. I know how to like get whatever I need to get out, just like, but even that, he like, the biggest thing is like he trusts me, like he trusts my eye, and I just know because of how he like looks at me in the corner, like he just trusts what I have to say. And when and I can do it in English too. I just like, I do it out of respect for him to try to do it in Spanish, but our like it's weird. I'm the same age or younger or than a lot of my guys, but like, which is weird because I always want younger or than a lot of my guys, but
sorry about that.
No problem. Sorry,
okay, yes, I'm getting a little bit of feedback here. Okay. It's funny that it's replaying back to us, and it should not be doing that, but that was weird.
Yeah,
Sorry
no,
about that. We're good to go, guys.
yeah, no worries. But yeah, no, but like so like for me it's like, and actually I like this. I really like this about what I learned from Freddie. Freddie always told me like, he's like, don't go chasing motherfuckers. Just part of my language. But he's like, don't go chasing people. You can't want it more. You can't want it more. And so like if you don't, he's like, you always just like, he's always been like, I mean, and sometimes I watch guys like Teddy Atlas and guys like that, like get in their fighters like ass and stuff like I feel like I can do that, like if it need be, but a lot of times coaches do it without any like reason. Like for me, I like to stay calm and just like I give my suggestion, my perspective of what they need to do, and if they take it or not, that's on them. You know what I'm saying? And that was Freddie's way, you know. And before I linked up with Freddie when I was starting as a coach, I felt like I had this kind of like insecurity a little bit that I wasn't like that I wasn't like all up in your like, because I watched like some like, you know, great coaches do it, and then I was like, I don't know if I'm like that, you know what I mean? But then Freddie really helped me like come over that insecurity of like it doesn't always have to be that way, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's like we're dealing with grown men here, right? All you got to
Yeah,
do is let them know the situation, and they got to figure it out for themselves sometimes. So I agree with you on that. Now, if you were to, you mentioned a couple of guys out there, some of the top guys. If you were to like think back and say, okay, I want to be like this guy, or I really take, or not really be like them, but you want to take from them, or what style do you want to emulate the most? Is there a coach out there that you think that's the guy that I want to model myself after a little bit?
I like Vasil Lomachenko's dad. I mean, I don't like I my like when it comes to like boxing skills, I typically like lean toward like liking like the styles of like a Shakur or like a Terrence Crawford, like the good distance management and like counter attacking and being like a step ahead of you type of fighters. But when it comes to like Vasil Lomachenko's dad, he thinks outside the box. He has them do stuff, and I get what he's doing. Like, and that's I think that's a big problem with a lot of old school ways. Like, look, like for me, like if you have a lesson that you're trying to get across to your boxer and the old school way isn't working, it's up to you as the coach to to come up with something creative that he will understand what you're trying to do. And I like even like doing the juggling and the math problems and stuff. The hardest thing to do when you're fatigued, beaten down, maybe lost around, maybe down on the cards is stay fucking focused, you know? And like all this focus training, I get why they juggle. I get why they do these problems. I get why they do the shoot board where they're doing the numbers, peripheral vision. Like they think further than the classic, oh, speed, power, like head movement. Like they're thinking further, you know, and he came up with his drills. He came up with what he wanted to do creatively to get his boxers to understand what he wants from them and how to improve them. I feel like a lot of coaches, which is sad, like they stop evolving because they let a lot of people tell them, oh, that's stupid, or oh, that doesn't work, or Julio Cesar Chavez never did that, or you know, like don't stay creative, stay for all the young coaches like me, like stay creative, stay hungry, don't listen to every single person. Like some people are just haters, man. Like dude, like keep like if you have a way, and you have like I always say this, right? Coaches are like artists a lot of times, and we have a picture of what we believe good boxing looks like, and our job is to get good boxing, what we believe is good boxing across to our boxers. They need to learn how to basically be the paintbrush to the canvas. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
It takes two to tango, though, coach. Right? You have to find the fighter that sees your vision as well. You can't
ex-
just do this with any fighter, right?
and just like it's important that a coach also understands like what is within a fighter's capabilities in the fact that like Kayana, I would have never tried to have her box if I didn't see like, oh my god, you can box a little bit. Like I saw in her
Right.
like for instance, I don't want to shit on or talk bad ill on this, but like John Molina, right? he's never gonna be like fluid on his toes, like boxing on the back foot. Like he's one of those guys that like if I was to train him, I would have to also mend my. I would try to have to paint the picture of like what he can do great. You know, what is it within his capability?
Right, right.
You know,
if it's a round canvas, you got to paint a round picture, right?
That's absolutely right.
Yeah, I got you. I feel you. And a lot of these kids, like I said, sometimes you think that you go to a name coach because he's a name coach, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a formula for success, because maybe your style and his
Don't match.
is not gonna mend. Correct? Am I right about that?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I think like for me, I have fighters of so many different styles. So I like to think that I can adapt what I'm trying to do with the boxers that I have. You know what I'm saying?
That I love to hear, because that is the new way of the new coaching that are coming up nowadays, to be able to have that open mindset to send a southpaw to an orthodox. I could train a banger to a boxer that likes to dance around. I like to give angles to a boxer or to a banger that's on the inside, teach them how to box on the inside instead of just coming straight forward. I can appreciate that. I myself have adapted the to have the open mind to be able to see a boxer at what they would be best at, and to train them at what would be eventually their style of boxing, instead of train them one certain way. And you could go to a lot of gyms and you could actually see that a lot of boxers out there are only training one way, and that was the way the coach only trains them. And you could just see it through their whole through their whole gym. Everybody's almost the same. They're all like clones of each other.
Right.
Where you walk into the new way of training, and you walk into the gyms, and you got your bangers, you got your boxers, your dancers, I mean, they're all over. So I really appreciate that, because that open mind is a beautiful thing nowadays.
It is. And I'll tell you one thing, guys, is that I noticed as well, MMA has brought a different angle into this whole equation, as far as two different things. One is they brought a whole different perspective to a fight, because these guys are not exactly bangers. They're not exactly boxers. They have their whole different style that they bring to the table, that has turned boxers into a little bit more of like, oh shit, I got to fight now. I'm not here just to box, because these guys bring a fight aspect to the game.
Yeah.
And two, the MMA fighter, the mentality that they bring is completely different than a boxer.
Yeah, rough.
And I think sometimes it seeps over into boxing now, which is in turn making boxing a lot more entertaining, I think.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like a lot. I train an MMA fighter that I've had him spar with Zurdo, David Benavidez, like and he holds his own. Like his name is Marvin Vittori. He actually just lost to Robert Whitaker. It was a good fight, but a lot of these MMA fighters, they're getting better at our thing, So like I think,
but in a different way, right? In a different way, like
yes,
in their own way.
And yeah, and they're not scared, and they try real hard. So it's like a lot of times it puts these guys kind of like, whoa, this guy shouldn't be doing this to me, but he is, and it does make them. It does shift a lot of what that's a very interesting and interesting take, Caesar, because I never even thought about that, but that's the truth. That these MMA fighters are starting to make a lot of my boxers like think differently too.
They gotta rethink how they box, because now they're guys that can fight, but they don't. Not only are they just fighting, just winging punches, they're winging punches in opportune times, and
Correct.
They're setting those punches up now. It's like
Yeah.
they're setting up punches in a way that boxers have never seen before, which is it's kind of a cool thing, and I think it's making boxing evolve in general.
It's funny though, like whenever my guys are dealing with those guys, like with kind of awkward MMA, it's so simple for me though. I just say, go stick to the fundamentals. The fundamentals,
Jab.
the jab, your hands in a good position, good hand placement, good range control, like stuff like that. And like a lot of times, like a lot of the MMA fighters, even though they're tough and rugged, they're not boxers, so they're not like very selective with their shots. So like a lot of times, like when you got a guy who's awkward like that, and you're trying to like be cute and fancy and move your head and dip and dodge, and they're throwing these punches from awkward angles. Dude, like just keep your hands up, and like it's not like he's got like this the punch selection that Canelo has, like touch the touch the right uppercut, left hook to the body. Like, he's not like manipulating your guard. He's just winging them. So like if you stick to the fundamentals, like just good tight guard, you don't got to do anything special. Just box. It typically ends up going. I mean, so far it's always gone our way.
It should, right? It should go in their favor.
It should, yeah.
We have an amazing trister. He used to be formerly with the Brigada Elite, and it was all boxing and Muay Thai. And he's been on board with us for 2 years, and we've been friends for over 20-something years. And he has brought the Muay Thai guys in, and we cross spar weekly, daily and weekly. We probably up to 2 to 3 times a week we'll cross spar. And I'll tell you what it does. It sure does keep your boxers honest. Because it teaches them to hold them guards up, like you're saying, and it teaches them to adapt to all kinds of different angles and styles that these guys bring to the table. So I can also appreciate that approach as well. And I'll tell you what, it's teaching these boxers that there are tough, hardcore people out there other than just boxers, and it kind of keeps them humble and balanced.
I mean, if you've ever wrestled before, that's a hard sport. Like wrestling,
the hardest,
dude. I wrestled in high school. Like wrestling is rough.
They always said like if I was in a street fight, and I've been involved with MMA, with martial arts for a very long time, and I can hold my own. I like to say I can hold my own, but I would never love to see a wrestler in a street fight.
Yeah.
These guys are. I don't care what a wrestler will grab you, put you on your back, and you're never getting up, regardless of the martial art you know.
Yeah.
That's where you learn how to fight.
Those guys are another level.
But listen, real quick, I got to do a little shout out here. We got quite a bit of people here that are jumping on board. We got Jorge Alatorre Villalobos, Menes in Guadalajara. Saludos to you, Jorge. We got Eddie Rodriguez Sr., the matchmaker. Welcome, Eddie. Thank you for joining us. We got Roland Martinez, a real good friend of mine in the bodybuilding world. This guy has won so many championships. Thanks for joining us. Roland, appreciate you, my man. We got Adrian Romero, who is an excellent boxer back in Denver. His dad was Monk Romero. Thank you for joining us, Adrian. Hopefully one day we get you on the show. We got my cousin, Troy Rodriguez, is watching from Colorado. Thank you, cuz, for jumping on board and showing your support. Janet L. is watching. Hello, Janet L. Thank you for jumping on board. And Silvestre Sicario Quinones, who was just with us, is having some difficulties. He had to jump on us live through Facebook. Thanks for hopping back on there, Silvestre. Niece, Lita, she's watching. Thank you for watching. Our niece, Linda Hurtado, my aunt, she's watching from Washington. That's up north, not D.C. Thank you for joining. Lee Woodward is watching. Thank you for joining us. And then Sylvester has a question, or says, Coach Chua, good tips. What post-weigh in meals do you prefer up until the fight? I think he's asking what.
Yes. I think for me, slow digesting carbs are very good, which means that you digest them for energy later. So like in the morning, I typically like my guys and having like maybe like egg whites, like a nice lean source of protein, and then they will have like oatmeal, because oatmeal is a slow digesting carb. Lunch, like sweet potato. I like to lean off like the red meat and stuff like that on fight days. And then actually a lot of it is like shakes. I really like the pure nutrients from like there's a carbohydrate shake called Vitargo. I like that one. It's pure carbohydrates, and amino acids, just like, and I like a lot of vitamins, B vitamins and stuff like that. But
Coach, I have a question. How much do you control what your fighters eat after a weigh-in. I mean, there's fighters out there that they do what they do, and there's fighters that need their hand held, so to speak, kind of like like what you do and make sure what they eat. But which I mean, how much of that do you yourself control? Or what's your style in that sense right there?
Well, I have different like calibers of fighters. I have guys like Zurdo who has a nutritionist, and like he's got like a high level nutritionist, and like I have like Cepeda and Regis Prograde who are actually fighting each other, but they have their own like nutritionists. They have their ways, But then I have some some fighters that are like kind of newer in their career, and I'm always with them when it's time to eat. Whenever we try fights, it's not like a vacation for me. I'm here to work. So like when my guys are eating, I'm with them. Whenever they're going, yeah, sleeping, like before I know when they're going to bed, stuff like that, and typically like if I'm like, hey, you should eat this or that, or like if he wants to order something, some of my guys are like, Coach, what do you think about this? Should I eat this? Should I eat that? And then I direct accordingly.
So if you see a fighter eating something, example, I know that Perro Angulo back in the day used to eat a pizza after the weigh-in. He used to put tomato slices on it and eat the whole pizza. I mean, and technically you're watching this and you're like, man, you're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and if you're his coach, I mean, are you allowing this to happen, or are you thinking this is a guy who knows what he's doing? Let him do what he does, and let's move on. Like where's the line? Where do you draw that line?
That the one you said, he's a grown man. This is what he likes to do. This is what he likes to eat. He's been here before. If this, like, I don't give, the most important thing is the mental for me when it comes time to fight. I understand you should put some good things in, but none of that matters as much as how like the proper mental state when it's time to fight. So like if that's what puts him in the proper mental state and makes him feel comfortable, like this is what I do, this is what I'm comfortable with, by all means, man, eat pizza and ice cream. I don't care. Like if you fight or the next morning you wake up, oh, my stomach's messed up, I'm gonna tell you, all right, well, now you learned your lesson. Next fight, we're not ever doing that again. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, it's Perro Angulo. Like I wouldn't let like one of my guys, like I pro debuted Scrappy, so I would never let Scrappy do anything like that, but if I get an established guy and he has his routine, like, man, do you be ready, man? You perform for me tomorrow. I don't care if you smoke a cigarette in the morning, like if that's what gets you in the right place, like to go in
like Mayorga style, right?
I'm gonna tell him like this. That's what he does,
Like Brad Pitt, right? You just take it out of his mouth in the corner. Here, give me that thing.
Yeah, exactly.
To me, it sounds like the 70s and the 80s. We used to drink and smoke before we got in the ring.
Look, if that makes, that's funny. What's funny is actually I learned a lot of things from Freddie, even just talking to you now. Like not like he was trying to teach me things, but just like observing him. And he used to train Andy Ruiz. And Andy Ruiz's manager used to put these bonuses, incentives, like, okay, if you make this weight, I'll give you a $20,000 bonus. If you make this weight the next fight. And then Freddie used to say, I don't know why they keep trying to make the kid lose weight. He fights better fat. Like, and I was like, you know what? And it was funny because I was seeing Andy was one of my best friends. Like he was one of my first friends actually, period, in LA. And I used to hang out with him all the time, and I used to watch his spar. I mean, he's still a good friend of mine, but I used to watch his spar, and I noticed something. The kid is better when he's fat. The kid is better when he's happy and eating what he wants to eat. Like he fights better, So sometimes let people be.
Yeah, that was kind of like an old page off of what's the name from Riverside over here. Oh man, I can't believe I'm going to be messing up his name. But
Nightmare, the Nightmare, he's a Riverside guy. The Nightmare,
Chris Ariola.
Chris Ariola. There you go. Yeah, Mister. That was what did he say? His thing was the Bertos. There was a Berto in every city that he went to. So he was eating at Hiliberto's, Alberto's, every Berto you can imagine.
Man,
Hey,
But he was
hey,
happy.
that guy had some massive balls. He would throw down with whoever you put him up
yeah.
against.
I think
I
he
mean,
still does.
he
And
still
he's
does. Yeah.
Yeah.
still does.
But yeah, like
Absolutely.
for instance, like look, like I said, if he came to me and we were training, he was like, "This is what I eat," okay. But like at the same time, like if he was to be like, "Do you suggest anything better?" and he wants to change his career, or like he's thinking something, I'll give my suggestion. Like I love that. Like I love he's a grown man. Like he's a grown man.
It's 'cause
You know, like
I manage fighters, and
yeah,
I don't know how long it was in my management so-called career that I realized that, dude, I'm not babysitting these kids no more. Like these are grown ass men. They gotta want it. If they don't want it, then I don't want it. You know what I mean? I can't
yeah.
do that for them if they
You
don't
know
want
what's funny? So like when I was at Wild Card, when I was fighting myself, I kept fracturing my hands, and my mom actually had told me like, you got to find a way to support yourself out there, or you're got to come home and go to school. And I didn't want to give up on my dreams. I didn't want to like, like where I come from, nothing comes from there. So I felt like a hero, kind of like a hometown hero to my friends, like an inspiration to my friends. I wasn't gonna go home with my tail between my legs. So I was actually a strength and conditioning coach at first. I was doing strength training for a bunch of fighters, and I liked doing it, but it felt like babysitting. Like get up and run. Like I had to and I just did. And then at the end of the day, at the end of the day, and at the top level, you're not gonna catch very many of those guys slipping on their shape, right? Like so, it's like your strength and conditioning is important, but it's not as important as a good game plan and like the right like strategy to go about in the fight. So like I
I want to disagree with you on that one a little bit, Julian, because conditioning is when you're conditioned, you can execute any game plan. When
oh
you're
yeah,
not conditioned, you got one game plan, and that's to fight this fight out of condition. You know what I mean? So,
no, absolutely. No, absolutely. So, but what I'm trying to say is more like this, right? Like you could be in the best condition of your life, but what if the other guy is also in the best condition of his? And at the top level, like I said, very few people you're gonna catch slipping. Like they're not gonna be like just like completely out of shape. So, like for me, like being able to teach a fighter how to manage his energy throughout a round, teach a fighter how to control the clock. Like, okay, you're up, you got 30 seconds left, what are you gonna do? You're not gonna go out there and bang and brawl. Stall the clock. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
it's like those little strategic things can increase like like even like taking deep breaths and clinches. Like clinch him tight so he can't hit you anything, and then start regulating your breath. You know what I'm saying? Like that can help you manage your tank. So like I got into understanding like tactical things like I'm saying, I agree with you completely. Strength and conditioning is extremely important. It's just as important as anything else, I believe, as well.
Or
But
more sometimes, or more.
yes, or more. But at the end of the day, I think smart, intelligent boxing, like at the highest, when it comes to like high level prize fighting, it's a lot of it's like how you were taught in like more strategy.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Well, I'm going to have to make another quick shout out here to a couple more people that have jumped on board. We is watching. We got Angel Perez Lugo. He's a boxer out of our gym. He's under the tutelage of my son, Coach DT. We got Omar Batts, who is out there. It's actually Omar's birthday.
He should be on the show interviewing with us. Where's Omar Betts at?
Well, guess what? Him and his girl had a prior date for his birthday. So that being
Oh,
said, we want to wish Omar a very, very happy birthday. I told
Happy
him we were going
birthday,
to roast him a little bit. Yep. There you go, Omar. You got it from Coach
Omar.
Julian Chua right there. Happy birthday, man. And then we have Tammy Gonzalez from Colorado's in the house. She's watching. Erica Avila, our family from Casablanca right here in Riverside. She's on board watching. And then I got to do a shout out here to Don McGuire. Don McGuire has actually, he's been, putting comments. I've been putting them up there. And he says, what Freddie Roach has instilled in you the most, and how to define you moving forward?
Hmm. I would say that's a two that could be broken down into two things. If you're talking about like when it comes to boxing, actual boxing, it's angle. It's like position. Like what I learned the most is about positioning yourself and like angling yourself, like the positives and negatives of angles and like and just constantly like like awareness of position in the ring. Like I think that was a big thing with me with Freddie. Like if you cut this way, you're leaving this exit open, and these are the options he's probably going to take, and what you should do to counter those options when it comes to those angles. And that it makes total sense because if you look at Manny Pacquiao, that's his bread and butter. When it comes to everything else, like I think the biggest thing that I took from Freddie is like the whole not chasing fighters around and like trying to be their dad. It's like dude, like don't waste your time. Like he used to tell me, like that's what he would tell me. He's like, don't waste your time with that. He would be like, don't waste your time with that guy. He doesn't want it. Don't waste your time with it. He don't want nah. You know what I'm saying? Like I got that
No matter how talented they are, right?
that's right. That's right. No matter how talented they are.
Hey,
There's a
coach.
lot of time that
So
could be wasted.
yeah, absolutely. It's a shame. Sometimes you feel bad for these kids because you could do everything. I always tell them I could do everything for you, give you the best coaches, gear, everything, but I can't want it for you. If you
Exactly.
don't want it, I can't want it. Yeah, that's the only thing I can't do. You know what I mean? But coach, so I'm gonna go out and ask you a couple questions about this fight you got coming up now, with Zurdo and Bevo. Man, I was a little surprised at the size difference, at least in the pictures, and
A
unless
little.
unless Zurdo was standing like on a dictionary or something, he looked like a big dude compared to Bevo, and I thought that was Bevo's strength against Canelo, his size. He's not going to have that strength here. Tell us a little bit about that and about the fight in general. I mean, what you guys got going on there?
Okay, so I actually, it's funny because like I actually don't put too much emphasis on size. Like with I understand it was a strength with Canelo. Canelo was small, but a lot of times that kind of like not like what's the right word? That kind of pushes back how good Bivol actually is too. He's not just bigger. The guy is like he's very skilled, and he fought Umar Salimov, very tall guy. Craig Richards, tall and long. He knows how to deal with long, tall guys. He's actually been a light heavyweight his whole career, his whole professional career. Zurdo turned light heavyweight only 3 years ago. So like I said, I don't put too much emphasis. I'm not saying that like we don't have an advantage, and I'm planning on using that advantage, But at the same time, I'm not basing all my I'm not putting all my eggs into the basket of him being bigger. Like I'm my plan without giving it away is I want to be everything that they're not expecting. That's all.
I like that. In 2015 or 2016, it was at the Manny Pacquiao Timothy Desert Storm fight at the MGM Grand. I actually got to see Zurdo fight Arthur Abraham, who used to be part of the Super Six
Yes.
uh, back in the day. And when this is the first time I seen Zurdo live, and I was impressed by his heart before, but when I saw the dog come out of him against Arthur Abraham, and man, I tell you what, it took me back to a fight back in the day when it was Real Deal Holyfield against Michael Dokes. I believe it was on a Tuesday night.
Saw that
USA.
fight.
You remember that fight?
Yeah,
That fight was a
he knocked him out cold.
bang out brutal battle war, man, at light heavyweight. And of course, Holyfield knocked him out, and Zurdo came out on top. That was the type of fight that reminded me of the two dogs that were in that ring, and Zurdo had the dog. And then I had the pleasure and honor of actually helping probably about a good 100 feet through the casino as we chatted, and he spoke a little bit of English, and I don't speak hardly any Spanish. But I got a picture. It's up on the FB page when I threw it up there of him and I together. And I'll tell you what, that's when Zurdo had my heart because of that corazon. And I'll tell you what, for me, it's about the dog in this fight, man. And you know, people are doubting this man with 40-0, with 30 something knockouts or what have you. And I've been watching him ever since. And I've asked people here in the US, don't you know who Zurdo is? And they'd be like, no, we don't even know. Well, guess what? Now they're going to know. And you know what? I am happy for you to be in that corner with Zurdo and with you to have that beautiful open mind at such a young age to be able to bring these men to their victories. But I have a lot of faith in this fight. And I'm a huge fan now of yours as well, since you're with him.
Oh, thank you, and I appreciate that. And well, a big thing for me with this fight is a lot of people a lot of people shit on you no matter what, whatever you do, how great you are.
That means you're doing something right, coach.
Yeah. I mean, I see. I see what they say about Zurdo, and I cannot wait for him just to finally get what the respect that he deserves. You know, like, this guy's a monster. There's a demon that lives inside him when it comes time to fight, and if anyone thinks that this is going to be some kind of this kind of fight for Vivo, you're very mistaken. Zurdo is going to come out on top.
So let me ask you this, coach. Assuming and we're all, and you know, he's from where my parents are from. I mean, I'm even rocking the jersey.
Let's go.
You know what I mean? This is all for Zurdo, but assuming you guys go out, you win this fight, and there's Canelo out there saying that he'll never fight Zurdo. He'll never fight Zurdo. I don't fight Mexicans, even though there's like 20 Mexicans on his record. The last time I checked on BoxRec, right? But how do you feel about that? I mean, it's almost like of a natural thing, right? It would be a mega payday for both of you guys, right?
Yes. I mean, we would take a fight with Canelo in a heartbeat, you know? Like,
Yeah,
that would be, I mean, oh, sorry, 1 second. Sorry, my phone's running low. Do you have a charger in a quiet room?
Look over there. Is there anything over there?
We got 7 minutes. We got 7 minutes, coach.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're right here.
We could go overboard a little bit.
All right.
But yes, we 100% would welcome a fight with Canelo, and more so, like that's a dream come true, you know.
Do you think that he's saying that because he really truly doesn't want to fight another Mexican, or is he's looking for a way out? I mean, the only other way out is to ask for too much money, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think Canelo, like I said, I would love a fight with Canelo Alvarez. I think him and Zurdo would put a fight that would excite the fans and everything. But I'm not gonna sit here and try to tell this man what he needs and what he should or shouldn't do. Canelo Alvarez has accomplished more in boxing than so many fighters. You know, like I think this man should be able to do whatever the hell he wants to do. You know,
is he doing it because he doesn't want to fight Zurdo, or is he doing it because he truly is being patriotic?
I think he's being paid. I mean, two things could be true at once. You know, like I think that some like not only Zurdo, but I mean David Benavidez is lingering over there too. You know, like Zurdo and David are friends. They train, and David has trained at my gym for 2 camps, and
wow.
and Canelo has his hands full with David too. Trust me. Like that, like he would have his hands full with David.
I agree. David Benavidez is the monster at that weight right now, at 168 pounds. So, you know, that being said, you know, being the taller fighter, but David is just a monster at that. But I would even imagine down the line, you know, Canelo's going to have to meet up with him some way or another. And then I would say that David Benavidez is a young man. He's going to end up moving up in weight. And it just may be him and Zurdo down the line later on. You know, David. And that would be spectacular.
They have to know that, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we would – look, I have Regis Prograis and Jose Zepeda fighting each other, and like I'm stepping away from that fight. Okay, like I'm not.
Wow.
They're my friends.
You're
I
stepping away completely. You're not doing anything for either.
anything for either. There's things for me that are worth a lot more than money, you know. And like for me, like
Wow.
friends are like I mean, look, I take a lot of pride in my work, and I know what both I have a good. I've spent enough time with both guys to know what their strengths and whatever weaknesses they may have, and I'm just not like ratty. I'm not ratty like that. I'm not sitting there. Oh, he struggles with this. Oh, you know, like dude, that's my friend. You know, like I'm not doing that. You know?
Snitches get stitches, right?
Exactly.
That's messing around.
I
That's
mean,
honorable. That is very honorable
Right,
of
right,
you.
right, right. Not just playing. I just playing. I just playing.
but moving David and Zurdo fight, like I I wouldn't want that fight strictly because David is a friend of mine. You know, I don't want to do anything. I wouldn't want to do anything that to take food off his table, you know, or for his kids or whatever it might be. You know,
That could
like
potentially be the most food on his table ever, right?
no, sure, for sure. I mean, yeah, like I mean that too. I basically we'll take the fight. I wouldn't
But it's
want to.
business.
Yeah, strictly because we're friends. But I mean, actually, funny thing, I'm actually cool with Bivol. Like, he actually wished me a happy birthday and was like, "You're a great coach. I hope you have." This was before Zurdo and him got put together, but he was like, "You're a great coach. I hope you have great success with many boxers and stuff like that. Like stuff like that. Like I used to wrap his hands when he was training in Santa Monica. Like I know that like his coach an affinity for my dog. He loves my dog. But yeah, I know their whole group, and
The
I know that,
pity, right? That white pity you have.
yeah.
I remember that dog.
But yeah, so like I know them, and I like them, and he has the belt, and look, like if anyone else had the belt, I would rather have fought Ben, like just because I they're not like my friends, but at the same time, this is business. Like he has something that we're trying to accomplish great things, and at the same time, everyone's getting paid, so it's cool, you know. But like I said, like when you're talking about strictly like friend stuff, I'd rather not. There's so many other fighters out there. I'd rather not deal with guys that I know, you know, like or fight people that I know.
Well, that's pretty admirable of you, Coach. I know it's pretty tough to always separate state, or what they used to call state from religion, or friendship from business, and what have you. But either way, we wish them all the best, and we hope that they all get their dreams to come true. I mean, that's what we're all here for to do anyway. We're going to be closing it down here shortly, but I want to do a shout out to Sean Fitzgerald. What's up, Sean? Thanks for joining us, sir. Appreciate you. Going into the Bivol fight with Zurdo, uh, I wish we could probably do another one of these shows, and possibly maybe we could even have Zurdo sitting with you. And I'd like the fans to actually really chime in and ask questions, and get more predictions. Fight this weekend we were going to cover, but this was more important. We really appreciate your angle, and that's what we are, all angles. Your angle on the way that you're training the fighters coming up, and the new style of training. And we'd love to have you on board again if that's possible.
Yeah, of course, and I'm sure Zurdo would have no problem doing it if I asked him. So I'll connect with Caesar about that, and we can figure that out. No problem.
And just let him know I was the guy who carried him for 100 feet after the Arthur Abraham fight.
You
I'll do it
counted the
again.
steps. You counted the steps.
I counted every step, man.
I got.
But,
I'll tell him.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's a great guy, man. He's like I said, I have a little love for guys, regardless whether I know them or not, who are from my parents' hometown, which is Mazatlan. I'm a hometown guy, so I've cheered for him. Whether I've known him or not, I've cheered for him. Now that I know him, I cheer for him even more. So I wish you guys and then he ended up with you, Coach. That was like a pleasant surprise. It really was. So for me as a fan, you know what I mean? Because I knew, I like I told you before, I already knew that you were going to be one of those guys. You know what I mean? And you got the fighter that's going to put you there, and has put you there now. And I'm sure you're at the beginning of what you really want to accomplish, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But this guy is a great start, and I congratulate you for that. and tell him, give him my regards and the best of I don't want to say luck, because luck is for people that need it. You guys are good. You're good to go. Go out there, break a leg, and come home with that victory, man. I really hope you guys get it done.
Hey, you guys are in both California. You guys aren't too far. You guys are welcome at my gym anytime. Literally anytime you want.
Wow.
See Zurdo, talk to Zurdo, whatever. I'll set it up, and you guys are welcome to come up whenever.
I mean, I do
That's
need
fantastic.
sparring. I text you about that sparring for that 126. Let me know. We'll bring them down.
Oh yeah, no, okay. So, yeah, Azat will be sparring. I have a guy named Azat Hovanassian. He's a monster. He's
a
number
beast.
Yeah, he's the number one at 1-2 in like a 3 of the belt.
So I'm not gonna lie. We turned down. I'm not gonna say with what fighter. I've worked with a few fighters, and a few of them have been in his weight class. I've turned down Azat probably about 3 or 4 times. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
he's
I'm not gonna lie.
he's a beast.
He is. He really is.
But yeah, he's gonna be moving around on Friday, so maybe we'll connect and get that set up for Friday.
Yeah, that was sweet. I'll hit you up. Thank you.
We actually have a fight this Friday over in Valley, so we'll be up in that closer to that area this weekend. So maybe we'll collaborate after the show. I got a real quick shout out real here to Sean Fitzgerald. He wants to let us know. Well done, gentlemen. Very insightful conversation. Love hearing the different philosophies on training, and also that it stays respectful even though you disagree. Well, thank you, Sean. We appreciate that. That we always want to bring a lot of class here, but again, we are all angles. We are all involved in the boxing world, and that's why we came together, not just as fans. Of course, we're fans as well, but not just as fans. We are out actually in the boxing world. Managers, coaches. We have announcers.
Promoters. I promote too. I'm a promoter.
Promoters, absolutely, yeah. I'm a coach, but I'm not nowhere near on your level, sir. And I want to congratulate you, man, on all that success.
Thank
Very
you.
well deserved. Very
Thank you.
well deserved. And
Thank you.
I'd like to take my boxer down there to get a little bit of schooling from your boxers. He's going to fight this weekend.
147s. You got 147s, 140s.
He
Yeah,
fights at 147 and 140.
I have Taras Shelestuk. He was an Olympic bronze medalist.
Oh, I know who that is. Lefty, right? He's lefty.
He's 10. He's ranked, I think, number 10 in the WBA.
Dave, that kid is no joke. Dave has a kid who's the whirlwind of punches. He's like a little Tasmanian devil, just comes with punches.
Love it.
It can work for both of you guys.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm going to do a shout out to our boxer right now, if you guys don't mind. Jimmy Alchingon Nunez. He has his third pro fight this weekend in Simi Valley. He's putting up his 2-0 record up against a 6-0 record. We feel really comfortable about it. Jimmy is on fire. All he wants to do is take away and eat O's. And that he does. Jimmy Alchingon Huevos. That's for damn sure. So I want to play a little. I want to see here if I could play just a little bit of thing here. This is him right here, little picture. Young man came to me a year and a half ago, a little bit over a year and a half ago. Never boxed before in his life. Hardcore street fighter out of Hemet, California. He's a Soboba tribesman, belongs to the Soboba tribe. Tell you what.
Talking to him last time, he told me he was 200-0 in the streets.
Yeah, you better believe it. This is the team right here. This is everybody who trains with him and works with him. And tell you what, there's nobody easier to train than him, because this man is there for no excuses, period. He trains 6-7 days a week, anywhere from 6 to 8 hours a day, and we're very proud of him.
Good luck. Best of luck.
Thank you. And Coach, we appreciate everything.
Luck is
yes,
not
sir?
luck thing, but I still give it.
Well, we appreciate that, Coach. And we know exactly where you're coming from. So hang on. We're going to go ahead and end the broadcast. Everybody be blessed. Have a great week. Look for us next week. I think we're going to bring Jimmy on board if that's possible. It's depending on how he feels. But anyway, ciao for now, Boxing World. Appreciate all angles fans, and we'll be back. Thank you, Coach. Don't come off. We're going to just end it now.